Let's do Hans. Hans has an election take he did on the 2nd, right before the election. Let's see what he has to say. I'm sure it'll be insightful as always.
Today is Monday, November 2nd, 2020, and today I'm thinking about democracy, voting, how it's all fake, it's just all theater, and there's no way that you can corroborate or confirm that they actually count the votes. What I personally think they do is they just...
Hans. No. There are basically people who go and watch the votes get counted. Both impartial people, as much as anyone in the United States can be impartial. We have partisan people doing so for both sides. And then there are even some states where theoretically anyone can go and watch the stuff get counted. Some places I think have done a thing, I don't know if they're doing it this year, but I've seen in the past, there's like a video camera on them counting the poll, or counting the ballots the whole time. Like, there are ways that you can go and check on this stuff. And this is a problem I think a lot of conspiracy theorists have. Towing24 with 20 bits. The reason people are holding off Arizona is because there was a reporting error. Said they were 95% once counting, but then knocked it down to 85. Still out of the votes left to count are Phoenix, so Fox and AP are still okay with calling it. Okay, that makes sense. Anyway, I think a problem with a lot of conspiracy theorists, especially those that gravitate towards stuff like Flat Earth or this, they have a trust issue, and I understand. I mean, there's a lot of reasons in this day and age to, like, inherently have a little bit of skepticism about trusting others or the crowd in general. Institutions have lost the confidence of basically everyone, and I understand that. But if you want to live in a functional society, you need to be able to, in certain situations and for certain things, recognize that, hey, we can't all individually do these things ourselves, so we delegate, right? We delegate tasks to other people. So if we delegate for some people, or people delegate to themselves, because we can choose what careers and education we get if we have the opportunities to achieve these things, someone says, okay, I'm gonna work on space. I'm gonna do NASA stuff, or I'm gonna be an astronomer, or whatever. Like, the social contract dictates in a reasonable society that I say to that person, all right, not only just this individual, but the entire group of people who study things like space, or the shape of the Earth, which is involved in that, even though there aren't people like, what's the shape of the Earth? We know. It's an oblate spheroid. Either way, there's a certain amount of trust within the social contract that you say, okay, as a group, I believe that astronomers, that aeronautical engineers, that whatever group is telling the truth that the Earth is round. Even if I myself cannot go to space and confirm that, I know that there are other people who are doing those experiments, who have done these things, and that they're checking each other within their group. Right? The same thing applies to this voting idea, right? I'm not going to go out and watch the ballots get counted. But I also recognize that there are other people, especially people with competing interests, if we're talking about the election, Trump versus Biden, the people who work for Trump versus Biden on the campaigns. Those people are going to keep each other in check as much as possible while making sure that the people who count the votes are doing their job. Trust is an inherent part of society and the social contract. I'm not saying you have to trust every individual person, but ideally you have a situation where there's a decent balance between skepticism and trust of our institutions. Because if you're too trustworthy, then they can get away with things that are unscrupulous. But if you're too skeptical, then the system sort of breaks down. I'm not telling you to not be skeptical. I'm telling you, don't be Hans Wormhat. And that there's a line. There is a line. There's skepticism, and then there's outright denial. They're different. Let me see what I missed. Sorry. Tucker White 94, 20 bits. This is Tinfoil Tuesday, Hannah, not civics class. Make with the penis jokes. The penises are funny, right? They look like fleshy mushrooms. At least the circumcised ones. That's my penis material. The original Lila with 100 bits. It's crazy how often I have to say what you are on my stream. It's wild that it's a talking point. Say what you are on my It's crazy how often I have to say what you are on my stream. It's wild that it's a talking point. I don't know what that means. Stephen the Great, the Fourth, I'm assuming. Thank you for subscribing at Tier 1.
Take the votes and throw it in the garbage or burn them. And I don't think they count the votes at all. I think they just make up whatever numbers they want. And there's no way that anybody can confirm
Oh, what you were saying. Sorry, can't type. Oh, it's cool.
that the votes
I typo all the time and misspeak. I understand.
actually get counted. It's just all theater, and all you're watching is a bunch of puppets up on the stage. It's been said before that politics is just Hollywood for ugly people. And
That's a little funny.
and that's true. And
Antipodian Squid with 20 bits. Now all I can think of is the mushroom wand in Animal Crossing. That thing was not a mushroom. It was a pee-pee. Probably.
people in politics are pretty high up in the occult. They're witches and wizards.
Ooh, I need to go run for my local city council. I didn't know I'd get magic powers. Thanks, Hans.
Let's just read a little bit from the Bible. Today's video is going to be pretty short. Deuteronomy chapter 1 verse 13. Take you wise men and understanding and known among your tribes, and I will make them
Born
rulers over
posting.
you.
Thank you
And
for
this
following.
is not how democracy works. Democracy, they prop up the most ridiculous puppets, and they are definitely not wise men with understanding, and they're not known besides on the TV.
What? The TV, which, by the way, Hans, it's not the 1950s to, like, the 1990s right now, okay? People get a lot of their information from the internet. Your computer isn't a TV. But media is the main form through which people get to know political candidates. Like, that's knowing as much as you can ever know a political candidate, is understanding their positions, hearing them talk on those positions. And that's when we're talking about national level politics. If we're talking about state level, you can probably go to events and see these people. You can even do so at national, but it's a little harder and it's going to be larger crowds. Knowing people is knowing them, and people know Donald Trump and they know Joe Biden. So I don't know what your distinction is here, that people only know them through the TV. They know of them. What? In terms of wise men, I agree Donald Trump's not very wise, and I don't agree with Joe Biden, but he's not an idiot. More or less, and I would say this, and you can make fun of George W. Bush and stuff, but more or less I do think most presidents of the United States aren't idiots. I think most of them are intelligent people. A lot of them are evil. A lot of them have done some pretty messed up stuff. But I don't think they're stupid. Donald Trump is the first president I've ever seen that I legitimately think, wow, what an idiot. Even George W. Bush, who I don't think he's like a genius by any means. I think he misspoke a lot, right? I don't think he's brilliant, but I think he's a functional human being. Donald Trump is the only president that I am aware of that I genuinely think is an idiot. We're doing pretty well. 44 out of 45 ain't bad, right? Not too bad.
It's never people
Or maybe 45 out of 46, depending on how the election continues to go.
that we actually know, and this goes down to local government too. There will just be strange people that they get elected to the same position over and over and over again.
Tucker White 94, Bush was smart enough to surround himself with people who knew what they were doing. Trump isn't even doing that. Yeah, that's basically the bare minimum for president. You need to be able to seek counsel from the experts around you in your cabinet. That's like a huge part of the job. No one individual knows about, the ins and outs of foreign policy, domestic issues, healthcare, terrorism, poverty. You need experts around you telling you how these things could be dealt with.
And they're probably just some Masonic actor, and it's all just all the world's a stage, and democracy is fake. It's a trap. They want to get you, so what it is, they want to get you to consent. And by...
Hear that, Athens? You fucking liars. Mitchell Drummer with 20 bits. Actually, there are only 44 people who have been president, even though Donald Trump is the 45th. This is due to one person winning non-sequential terms. Oh, yeah. I did know about that. Which guy was that? Was it Taft? Was it that bastard Taft?
Voting, you're kind of giving consent.
Let me look. No, I gotta remember. Non-consecutive. Oh, it was Grover Cleveland. Grover Cleveland. I don't know anything about Grover Cleveland. I want to make a Grover Cleveland joke. Let me see if we got anything. First presidency. Soon after taking office, Cleveland was faced with the task of filling all government jobs for which the president had the power of appointment. These jobs were typically filled under the spoils system, but Cleveland announced he would not fire any Republican who was doing his job well and would not appoint anyone solely on the basis of party service. He also used his appointment powers to reduce the number of federal employees, as many departments had become bloated with political time servers. Later in his term, his fellow Democrats chaffed at him being excluded from the spoils. Cleveland began to replace more of the partisan Republican office holders with Democrats. This was especially the case with policy-making positions. While some of his decisions were influenced by party concerns, more of Cleveland's appointments were decided by merit alone than was the case in his predecessors' administrations. I can't make a joke about... I'm sorry, guys. I know you come here for my Grover Cleveland humor, but I got nothing today. No biting commentary on Grover Cleveland. Hi, kitty. Hello. How are you?
To playing the game. And it's all a rigged game. It doesn't matter who you vote for. They're going to elect whoever they want to. Whoever... Like with this Donna.
Antipodian Squid with 20 bits. I know the head of local government back home, what I guess you guys would call a county. She went to school with my eldest sister and is pretty cool. She runs for the wrong party. I don't agree with her politics, and I've seen her when she's extremely drunk at my sister's socially on many occasions. I'm glad I'm not in a position where I have to choose whether to vote for her. Yes, Lupine. Lupine, where did you go? Did you already go somewhere? I don't think she's here anymore, but she was here.
Thing. You can just tell that they chose Donna because they knew that people would just freak out the most. A lot of times they just want to see people freak.
When he's talking about Donna, he means Donald Trump. He thinks Donald Trump is secretly a trans man, if you don't know. Tucker White 94 with 20 bits. You have failed us, Hannah. You don't even have a Grover Cleveland joke ready. Go to the shame corner and think about what you've not done. Yeah, I failed. Oh, she's on the window. Hello, kitty.
Freak out. And the whole thing with Joe Biden is like senile. It's like they could have easily picked somebody who's young and vigorous, and no, they like to put ridiculous people up there just to mock people. And the only...
It's not to mock people, it's because the DNC doesn't have a deep young talent pool. I think it's growing with people like AOC. But like the Democrat establishment has been pretty it's pretty geriatric at this point.
Only winning move is to not play. When you vote, you're kind of consenting to it. And so the only winning move is to not play, to not care about it.
I'm glad Hans doesn't vote for what it's worth. That's nice.
Presidents don't actually do anything. They're just a figurehead, and...
That's absolutely untrue. The president, historically, you're probably right. For a lot of America's history, the president was not necessarily the most powerful person in the country. But hey, we live in the 21st century, and presidential powers have been expanded. Every single president. So, no, you're wrong. Presidents hold a lot of power. Not all the power. There are checks in place. But as we've seen under Trump, the president holds too much power for one individual.
None of that stuff matters. People get so emotionally invested into things that they have no control over. And voting is one of those things. They swear up and down that everybody can make a difference, but the truth is that the numbers are fake and everything's rigged. And
no, the numbers aren't fake and it's not rigged. Tucker White 94 with 20 bits. I'd say it's time for the Democrats to tank for better prospects, but you probably wouldn't get what I'm saying, Hannah. Tank for better... Nope, don't know what you're saying. Still haven't called Michigan on AP. Interesting.
And they probably just burn all the votes. Here's just a chance to talk about Paul for a little bit. Romans chapter 13 verses, well, starting at verse 1, that's all I'm going to read. There, let every soul be subject unto the higher powers.
Oh, he's saying Dems need to go tanky. No, I don't think they need to go tanky.
For there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. And I don't really agree with this stuff. I think that Paul said a lot of dangerous things that Jesus didn't say. Did Jesus submit to everybody and do all the little rules? From what I read, Jesus wasn't a rule follower of nonsensical satanic rules. And this is just telling you, oh, no matter what, if somebody's a higher power above you, you just have to do what you're told. And the only higher power is God, not these earthly institutions.
Okay, so Hans is pointing out a potential contradiction in the Bible. Cool.
And I'm not saying that clearly, if you're living a good life and you're being a good person and you're following Jesus, you're not going to be breaking the law left and right. But just think of the extreme things that Jesus did back in the day. He did not follow all the rules. And so when I read this type of Pauline stuff, it makes me very skeptical of that type of reasoning, because I look around and I see that the people that are in control and that are making up rules, they're satanic and evil. So why would I?
No. Hans, there are plenty of problems with the power structures in this country. The wealthy hold a ridiculously inordinate amount of power within our system. It's messed up. They're not satanic, though. They're just wealthy. They're just wealthy, and their interests, because they are interested in their own wealth, are not typically in line with your common working person. That's a problem, but it's not satanic. It's just a different kind of problem. And when you go on about things like, oh, they're Satanists, they're whatever, it causes people to not focus on the problem that needs to be solved. It's a complete red herring.
Follow their rules just because they have some semblance of power, but it's all an illusion. They really have no power. And most of the time, all you have to do is say no. Just say no to their BS, and they'll back down. I think a lot about doctors. Doctors are big bullies, and they try to push you into all these things, and they try to make it seem like, oh, your child is gonna die because you don't do everything that I say about the vaccines.
Yes, because it would leave your kid open to infection from preventable diseases.
But all you have to do is say no. And it just reminds me of this somehow. You should not just allow people in positions of power over you to just dictate your life. That's incredibly bad advice, especially today when people in positions of power are satanic and evil.
Hans, what evidence do you have that people in power are satanic? Can I get your binder full of evidence, please?
Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. I think the wicked have been in control for a long time now, and I'm just going to end with this one thing. I talk a lot about magic wand, hand sign, and I think a lot of people don't.
I'm casting a spell on you, Hans. It's a spell of eternal happiness. I hope you're very happy, Hans. Pew, 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 pew. I gotta make the noises myself, since the batteries ruined the thing. Pew, pew!
Don't get it, or they don't believe me, or they're like, oh, that's how their hands naturally lay. These people really do think of themselves as witches and wizards, and it's in the Bible. Sorcerers, enchanters. There's people all around you that do cast spells. They go home and they light a candle and they try to cast a spell, and they're all around you, and they hide in
Maybe I just want my house to smell nice. Have you considered that, Hans?
plain sight.
I don't think Yankee Candle is keeping its doors open because of the Wiccan community.
They can hide in plain sight because they speak in symbols. This wit.
Trump is tweeting some bullshit. Let's take a look. We have claimed for electoral purposes the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, which won't allow legal observers, the state of Georgia and the state of North Carolina, each one of which has a big Trump lead. Additionally, we hereby claim the state of Michigan. What? You can't just... What?
There's nothing funny about the two.
You can't just be like, it's mine, I claim it. What the fuck? You can't do that. What? Yeah, I know. I just want to read what stupid shit he said. Yeah, I know. I want to quote the stupid tweet, bitch.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism. There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
MMO Addicted, I hereby claim all of Murica as God Emperor of humankind. Well, that's binding. That's how that works. MMO Addicted with 20 bits. Also, I claim the stream as its bit god. Oh, that's a shame. It was nice having the stream while it lasted. Bummer.
This warlock, really, it's a warlock, is, I believe that they do imagine them holding a wand when they do this hand sign. Look, it looks like they're holding a wand.
It looks like someone's doing
There's nothing
this.
funny about the tools of
Having your
capitalism.
hand closed is not wand, Hans. It's just having your hands closed.
It's just a warlock.
MMO Addicted from now on the stream is called Cooking with Depressed Fat Pole. Okay. Sounds good.
Look at the color that they're wearing. Orange. Bright orange. Orange is the only color that's 33. If you have no idea what I'm talking...
Hans, if I look up Hillary Clinton... Let's see. Blue and white. Purple. Black and white. Purple. Red. Purple. Looks like maybe purple, white, something. Black. Whatever this is. Black and white. Some kind of, you know, cream color. Blue. Purple. He literally had to Google Hillary Clinton wearing orange in order to get that. Hans, people wear orange sometimes. People wear the color orange sometimes. It's not like she wears mostly
Nothing funny about the
orange.
tools of capitalism.
Tucker White 94, wait, so I can just make something mine by calling dibs? Well, then I hereby claim the service of Hannah and Baja. Now fetch me a flag and a veil.
about when I talk about Magic Wand Hand. This is it. Look at this news article. A former FBI profiler offers a theory on why so many politicians use the same weird hand gesture. It's a magic wand. They are pretending to hold a magic wand and they are casting spells when they're giving these speeches.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Even if you're not big into politics, you've probably seen it by now. Yeah, you've wondered, why do they always hold their hand like that and wave it around?
No, because that's just a thing people do when they're talking. That's a part of, like, gesticulation. People do that.
They're pretending to have a wand in their hand, and you'll see people do this all the time.
Did I try popping off the back cover and sticking a screwdriver into the Sonic to bend the prongs back into shape? That's what fixed mine when the batteries went bad. I'm afraid I'm going to break them. But I mean, they're already broken, I guess. What do I have to lose, I guess?
Not just celebrities. You live in a world where there's a big club, and it's bigger than just famous people. And there's people all around you that speak with mudras, speak with their hand signs. They are obsessed with codes, and they love wearing triangle shirts and stuff like. They really do exist all around you, and they've just grown up in a totally different world than people who are asleep. They've just known their whole life that, oh yeah, all the people on TV speak with their hands, and I mean, it's like a meme, watch the hands. It's just a known thing about magicians, you gotta watch their hands. And I've heard inverts talk before about watching hands, and they knew from the beginning. They were illuminated into these secrets when they were young. And they end up buying into the system too, and they start using the hand signs. And, yep, that's it. I see people like this all the time. They're all around you. And
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
they are the ones that...
Oh, yeah, numerology for Orange 33. Numerology. Are we sure Hans is real? Yes. Believe me, I know Hans feels like a parody, but I have spent an inordinate amount of time when we first started doing this show off camera, not on stream, but like looking into Hans and making sure he's not some Andy Kaufman-esque character. Now, it's entirely possible it's just the best Andy Kaufman-esque character since Andy Kaufman, but I don't think so. I think Hans is legit. I think he's legit like this. Even if he's not, it's hilarious. But, like, it would even be funnier because it would mean he's not actually an unstable person, which would be nice. But no, from everything I've seen, Hans is 100% legit.
Or screeching the loudest about how...
The original Lila with 50 bits, it bothers me so much that he loses the thread of what he's saying so much. I'm not sure that he writes a script or not. The other person that posts on his channel is way worse about it, though. I think the other person that posts might be one of his kids, which is why I never cover those, because I'm not, you know, that's not that kid's fault that their parents are crazy. Zinnaby, if the problem is battery leakage, use water and baking soda on a toothbrush and scrub gently. No, it's not that. The battery's expanded, and it basically pushed back the contact point for the battery, so when I put in new batteries, it doesn't make contact. So, yeah, I gotta bend the thing back, basically. It was supposed to be 100. Sorry, don't apologize for giving me money. Thank you.
Oh, you have to vote. It's the most important thing. And one day you wake up and realize that, yeah, it's just a bunch of minions telling you to pay attention to the clown freak show, and the only solution is to not play, to not care. Again, Hollywood, or politics is Hollywood for ugly people, and they're very often extremely demonic.
Yeah, spurious symbology is evidence. Sure. A Noonday Demon, thank you for subscribing with Prime. Let's take a look. Where is spurious symbology? There we go. Danger Man 1973, thank you for following. Come on, AP, call Michigan, Jesus Christ. Donald Trump's being effing crazy. Please do it.
Like, just look at this one. Alright, that's it for this video.
Hey, come on.
Hope you enjoyed. Share this article. Go look for this article. This is a good one to share with people, and it shows this. I don't hear many people talk about the hand signs.
Because you're paranoid, Hans, because they're not specific hand signs. It's just, you know, people have hands, and when they gesticulate, they do all sorts of stuff. That's why people don't talk about it, Hans, because it's not a real thing. It's part of your paranoid delusions.
And usually they just talk about, oh, the 666 hand sign, and oh, devil horns. But there's more to it than that, and this is a really big one. And to me, it shows you that they think of themselves as witches and wizards. This creature is pretending to hold a magic wand.
Kid knives,
obvious,
thanks for
right?
following.
Think of just what it looks like they're holding in their hand. Alright, that's it for this video. God bless everyone.
I could say it looks like they're holding anything in their hand. They have a general thing that's like this. That's how you hold a lot of things. I'm not going to make the obvious joke there, guys. Make it yourself.